Let me look at our agenda. Okay, so y'all, happy Mattering Monday, guys. Are we recording? Lisa, we're recording. Okay. So let's start by sharing our wins or any shout outs or thank yous, and then we'll jump into our agenda. And I'm going to have to bring up my slides because I have so much to cover and I want to cover it pretty quickly for you guys. And I have questions to ask. So, Dawn, do you want to start out by giving your Mattering Monday shout outs or wins, Dawn?
Sure. We had some kids that some of them I'm seeing some light bulbs go on about problem solving. When they'll tell me like, oh, I don't know, this kid took down my stuff and I could go look and see, and why are they doing that? I'm like, I don't know. That would be a great question to pose in a discussion board. Or why don't you make a comment and then between you guys need to discuss some things. So we had a couple of aha moments where other kids even piped up and answered for me about how, you guys should be doing, because my classes, we have like 30 kids and 25 kids in classes. So we're pretty full, and, I'm kind of jumping around to different groups and helping them, but it's just nice to see some of the problem solving that is beginning to occur. So that's made me happy.
Awesome. Okay, Junior.
All right. I actually recently added an additional team member. I had her listed on the roster, but she was kind of like a maybe for me. But what I love the most about her, this is a child I just felt like had the heart for it. But I know she was busy with it. She was doing Model United Nations. The Model United Nations just pretty much completed their season. So, I asked her if she was interested. She's like, oh my gosh, I'd love to. And I was like, well, we're kind of moving on the deadline. I said, you would have to do a lot of catching up. So she goes on and, literally, she takes off, and one of the students texts me, one of the current students of the project, Olivia, she texts me and she's like, oh my gosh, Mr. Vernon, Amari just told me that she just joined the team. Oh my God, this is so awesome. Da, 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 da. Would you like for me to reach out to her and Skype with her right now so I could get her caught up with everything that she needs to do? And I was like, oh, awesome. That's great. Like, I didn't have to do it. So I thought it was an extremely cool opportunity. And, just been trying to keep the kids, motivated and make sure that they're holding their own and doing their part. So yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. And we were out of school. We were out of school today, and we're out of school tomorrow. But I will be seeing them on Wednesday. I'll be seeing them on Wednesday. So that's going to be pretty interesting.
Awesome, Natalie.
Hello, everyone. I have had some happy things and some sad things. We're dragging. I feel like that's what I'm going to say. We're dragging. But then I also had some exciting things with some of my students where one of my little guys who's quiet as a mouse, who wanted to join this team, I was worried at the very beginning thinking, I don't know. And he is showing his light, and that meant a lot to me. And he wanted to be on the animal abuse team. And just talking with him, like on the sideline, and him sharing his thoughts, I said, you need to put those thoughts in on the wiki. Don't tell me, go put them on the wiki. And my kids are still a little bit, a lot in shock. This is a experience that I don't know how to express it other than they're in shock. They see everybody on there, they're reading through the information, and they're very hesitant. And I have been, doing the cheerleader, chanting, saying, here, let me get you connected. Here, let me show you how. I have done all of it. And then we had the page crazy where things was dropping out. And I had a student on board that day. And I mentioned that in one of the reports that he said, Ms. McCallum, our video just went away. And I said, oh, probably someone's working on that. And I really seriously thought that was what was happening. Didn't take any thought, like, to my mind that the wiki space would be being jeopardized with anything crazy. So anyway, that was a lesson learned for me as a teacher. And I felt good about how everybody handled it. No one got too upset. And that really surprised my team. Like, my students were watching it and thinking, wow, everybody's pretty mellow about that. And I said to them, well, we have to be understanding because mistakes happen. And I said, I've made my fair share. And I said, and we will as we go through this journey. So that's my takeaway for the week. And, we had to do testing last week. And that was that was not fun either. So anyway, there we go.
Cool. Okay, Susan, happy Mattering Monday. What are your wins or shout outs or thank yous?
Well, I've met last week. I met with 3 of my team members, and then tomorrow I'm meeting with 3 of them again, and the 4th one seems like there's always someone that has a conflict. But yeah, it's interesting because one of the students, the one who I actually know the least well, he actually created a new heartbreak page, and I think he's the only one on there, so it's not one that's going to fly. But it was very interesting for me because his topic was loneliness, and he is an exchange student. He's an international student. So that was, I don't know him that well, but that sort of gave me a little bit of insight into him, which was interesting. So I'm going to have to redo our session today. When I see them tomorrow, I'll talk with him about trying to maybe move to a different team, maybe one that is related to that topic, or a different one if that's what he feels comfortable with. But so even though I don't necessarily feel like that's what is going to be a heartbreak, it gave me a chance to get to know him a little better. And again, since I only see these kids once a week and I don't know them really well, that's been interesting. It's a little different dynamic for me. But then there was one student who I thought contributed some really nice ideas on the app for on his wiki. And I don't know if they're technically even possible, but I wrote a nice note to his mom telling her how much I valued his contributions and how much I appreciated his participation in the project. And she showed him the note, and I think that made him feel really good because he came up and talked to me about it. He's like, my mom showed me the note you wrote. And I said, oh, yay. So that made me feel really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing the guys tomorrow, and I'm moving forward from there.
Hey, Christy, do you have any wins this week? I filled up your inbox recently, so you've probably been reading email. Oh, we don't hear you yet.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I have too many places to mute myself. By the way, hello everyone. I'm one of Catherine's coworkers, and I've been working on, the website and blog and everything for Mad About Mattering. And yeah, you've been a minor contributor to my inbox this week. Not too major. I have a lot of other things. I went to California to train some clients on their mobile app, so that was a win for me personally in my work life. And I think I got Natalie's login working. I don't know if have you been able to try that out? I hope that was a win. I can't hear her.
Yeah, she's on mute, but she'll try it.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, hopefully we got that working. I've noticed that WordPress, about 1 out of every 20 logins you create on WordPress will have initial issues getting logged on. I've seen that with other people as well. And so sometimes we just have to go in and delete it and create it again. But I don't know why WordPress is like that, but I've just noticed that.
Okay, Lisa Durf.
On me? Really, wasn't me.
No, do you have any wins or shout outs or things you've noticed as you've been watching everybody doing their stuff?
I think you're all brilliant. And I just hope to stay out of your way.
Lisa's so humble. She's been helping me work with mentoring and lots of things. Okay, so today I had some light bulbs, and I shot you guys a video. It was kind of tough. It was like I was waiting for there to be enough content to be able to shoot a good video to help you see how we can tell which wikis will make it and which won't. Now, Lisa has sent the video, but I need to edit it before it goes public on the wiki, because after I got done, I realized that inadvertently I may have said some usernames, and I need to go and either edit those or I need to gray them out or something. I don't want to embarrass any students. So it's really got for you guys. If you wanted to show it to your class, you could, but you can actually see what I did with the students. And I'm going to take you through some of the slides today, and we'll give you those as well as to what we need to do to evaluate. All the ones I've looked at, I don't really see any that are probably green lights yet, but I'm going to take you through the process. And it's about a 6-minute video on how do we evaluate, what are we looking for. And so what I did with my students today is I actually took them through this 3-step process, and I said, okay, let's look at the revision tab. let's see if we have at least 3 or 4 students really editing a lot. Oh, let's compare these two. Oh, this person just added a period, and this one just, oh, Susan saw it already. Thank you. Susan's our first. She always watches things so fast. This one added a period, or this one just added their name, or oh, this one hasn't added too much. And then I say, okay. And I had 2 girls on a lovely project who have been working so hard, but their partners haven't done anything. And we talked about how much they had done, and we celebrated that. And then I said, but do you see why, if we can't get your partners to engage, why it would be a disservice to put you on an app together? And they're like, yeah, we would end up with a mess doing all the work. And so I've kind of told them, there's actually a verse in the Bible that I was able to share with my students about being faithful in little things, and then you get bigger. So that the wiki page is the test, okay? Are they making sure all the spelling is correct? Are they following instructions, little bitty instructions? You know, like, I don't know if you guys have passed along to all the kids, but, you know, if we can make that top description 50 words with 5 hyperlinks and they pick 1 video, if we can get their little references for their, you know, and Susan and some of you have to make this optional, so you may not get to do that piece. But if you can give them some tiny piece of instruction so we see, can we work together? Now, one team, the kids who saw, okay, this is how we're supposed to do it, went and fixed it for the other students. Another one went and taught the other students how to do it. But what we're seeing is, even if one of us gives instructions, we should have these teams functioning well enough that they teach each other and they help each other, because Christy knows what it's like when you get a team of kids working. And if a killer for an app, like not in a good way, like death to an app, is when you have kids say, oh, this is my screen and that is your screen. And it's not our screen. I see Christy nodding her head. Yeah, it's not our app and it's not our screen. And so you start seeing that identity, because the thing I tell kids is, not all of you are going to be great spellers. Not all of you are going to be great with graphics, but you're all good at something. And your job is to bring your strength to this page, because if we can't trust you to go through and find things, like, for example, a bunch of them have all these blank extra headings that happened somehow when the wiki freaked out. Well, they haven't deleted them yet, some of them. And I'm like, okay, guys, so if you're not going to talk about these blank extra headings that the wiki choked and made and delete them, then if you have a problem in your app, you're not going to talk about that either. So this is just like a little baby test of, are you faithful enough to be trusted with an app? Do you have leaders on this team? Are you working together? Are you inventing? Are you creating? So I'll take you through those 3 steps. And I know, Susan, you've already seen them, so I'm not going to go too deep. I do hope you guys you need to watch that video so we all kind of know what we're doing and we're on the same page. But like I said, it took me to be able to have enough content. We've got the kids collaborating enough now to be able to say, okay, this is what it looks like when you have a highly functioning team. Because honestly, we've probably got 4 or 5 teams that are really doing some cool stuff. The school stress one is a nice one. I'll show you some more. Is it okay with you guys if I go into sharing my screen here? And I'm going to share this. Let me make this go. Oh. You know, I do PC during the day, I do Mac at night, and sometimes it just freaks me out. Here we go. Let me get this. Okay, let me share my screen. Here we go. And PowerPoint, share screen. Everybody see the thing there? Everybody sees it all? Okay. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat, and I'm going to take you through some of this stuff. So we shared our wins. Okay, first thing, urgent. If you have not had your students rename themselves with your 3-digit school code in it, please do. There's some names that we don't know who they are, so when there's a problem, I don't know who to reach out to. I think there's some having glitchy iPads or glitchy something or others, and I don't know who they are. So if you guys are able to go ahead and rename, Lisa Durf made a video on that, so she can give you that link. I don't know if you want to, is it Lisa who made it for renaming usernames, or was it Susan or somebody else? I can't remember who made it, but if we can throw that back in, please have them rename with a 3-digit code. Lisa, did you want to say something?
No, I think I made it, but I can look for that link, get everybody to have it.
That would be great. I think most people have done this, but we need to get those. Please also make sure they match what you gave MadLearn, because what's going to happen is as we greenlight these teams, we'll be feeding these to MadLearn to go ahead and load them into Coursera. Okay? Now, Thursday, Friday, Susan Bearden will be me. Y'all say, hey, Susan Bearden, Vicki Davis. I'll be in Utah. So Susan has agreed. She knows so much about all this, and she's a pro. She is going to be lead teacher and work with Lisa Durf, who's lead admin, on Thursday, Friday, as we're doing things. And y'all, that's kind of what we do. And if any of us are out, we kind of appoint others to kind of help things, and it just goes on without a hitch. It does not require my presence because we are teacher sourcing. We're working together. Now, some questions happened this week on intellectual property. Alethea has some information on how that will work. We will provide that to you guys as soon as we have it. So, Christy, I emailed Alethea today to just nudge her and remind her, and she's going to get that information for us so that we can answer. I know it was Dawn, I believe, that had the questions. And Dawn, we will get those answers.
Now, I don't think I got that email. If you want to include me on that, then it'll help me be able to also remind her. I mean, if you ask, well, what's the question, I might be able to answer it also, because I've talked with her and Namit about intellectual property before.
Okay, I'll just email you what I sent her. It was actually just to Alethea and Angelus because I didn't know who she wanted to handle what. But I will copy the, I didn't want to cause confusion, so I didn't know if she needed to see it first. Let me, Lisa Durf, would you forward that email I sent to Alethea and Angela to Christy right now? Will you do that for me, please?
I will look for it.
Awesome. Yeah, I sent it earlier, so she can do that. And, okay, so it's time to evaluate and give feedback. And our goal is by the end of the week, we're going to know which apps are going to move ahead. And I'm going to take you through that process, a little tiny brief version during the thing today. And then if you guys will watch the video. And we'll just be evaluating and reevaluating. We're going to talk about how can we tell a team that's ready for a green light, and how are we going to decide, because we'll talk about that in just a second. We'll also talk about anything that we're seeing. Now, all of you should have access to the MadLearn lesson plans. The two lesson plans for this week are MadStorm and MadMap. What did I just do? MadStorm and MadMap. And if you, and I saved it as a PDF. Maybe Lisa can email this also. They have a lovely MadLearn pre-test, post-test. And I have taken the first 5 questions, which are related to lesson 1 and 2, and I'm going to be giving my students a practice quiz on that. For those of you who do have to do assessments and take grades, Junior, this probably won't apply to you. It probably won't apply to Susan either. But it's kind of some questions and objectives of things we're covering. So we'll send you an email of that as well. And if you choose, you may choose to blog. With me being out, I'm going to leave an optional blogging assignment for my students at the end of this week in case some of them say, quote, I have nothing to do, which I seriously doubt. Yeah, and if they change them, they can't change it for 30 days, Dawn, so they're just going to have to wait, and then they'll have to be able to do that. No, I don't want to leave the meeting. Why is it? Wait a minute, it's trying to leave me. Am I still in? Can you still see my stuff? Everybody nod? Okay. Okay. Golly, Pete, what is up? Okay, so phase 1 evals. So we're going to talk about the meaning of the traffic lights here. What's this red light, yellow light, green light stuff, and what does it mean to the kids? Now, the video I made, if you want to share any of it with the students, go for it. If you just want to send them a link, but listen to that part. Lisa said she didn't hear anything wrong with what I said, but at the end I was like, oh, I usually don't say student user ID names, and I did. So you guys are just going to have to decide if you can use it. Let me use this dadgum arrow key. Okay. Okay, red light means the team is just not working together. It just doesn't have enough people, or the app just cannot be made, or it's so insistent on a non-working approach they need to be redirected, or it's just not well crafted. So as soon as possible, we have to go through, and like we red lighted one group that had no edits. And we're trying that the texting groups have to combine like yesterday. We thought they did, but then they didn't. So we've got to get the texting groups redirected and get those done. So we'll figure out how to leave them messages and do that. But teachers, please let's combine them into one. And probably the one that has the most on it. Lisa, if you'll check and let us know, then we can figure out what to do on that. But red light just means, not that it's not important. It's just not going to make it on this project. Okay. So we try to give this as little as possible. So we don't really want to red light it unless we absolutely have to. And I kind of like it where the kids say, okay, this one's just not going to, why don't you red light it and put me on this team? And so you kind of work with the kids, and we have to handle that appropriately, okay? Our next one is the yellow light. This answer is not no, just not yet. Now, I fully expect 95 to 100% of all of our heartbreaks will be yellow light at the beginning. Okay, some may be red light, but most will be yellow light. Because y'all think about it, it's a growth mindset. We're saying, okay, this is what needs to be done in order to green light it. And the amazing thing is they really start cranking and doing it. And then we have our green light. The green light means it's ready to go the next round of production. They are going to be making the app. They're going to be working together. This is a big deal, and we really want to celebrate the green lights. When they happen, I would suggest as we start green lighting, how is that page moving? I don't know. What is somebody moving my page? It is crazy. Like I'm not clicking and it's moving.
I
don't know if Lisa, I don't know. Somebody is.
My
I've got
hands are up.
gremlins.
You're there.
Here.
See my hands.
Crazy. Anyway,
Susan, she's laughing.
yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but they are ready to move ahead, get their mind maps done, ideate their names. I always tell kids, come up with 50 names of an app before you pick one. So once they're green lighted, I would say, hey guys, come up with 50 names. All of you brainstorm as many as possible. Use that lesson 1 and 2 and help them understand what's next. So they need to ideate, they need to brainstorm, they need to follow all the MadLearn stuff that we have and the slides and all that. And if you need help getting into that, then I don't know, Christy, if you can type in who they need to reach out to if they don't have access to that MadLearn material or know where it is. Can they reach out to you or should they reach out to somebody else? Oh, success at mad-learn.com. It's in the chat. That's the whole team. Awesome. So that's who we reach out to if we don't have access to it. And we know that the team is functioning. Now, how do we know the team is working together? And I give you 3 examples in the video that I shot for you. What's the quality of edits? Not how many edits. What's the quality? Now, I will say this. Just did it again. You know what? I think it's because I did Office Mix and I imported these slides and something is going on between Office Mix and Mac. That's what it is. So I have just figured out what I did. Is conversation happening? Is there innovation, invention, or leadership on the team? Okay, so what's happening there? And I'll show you 1 or 2 examples in a minute. Are y'all hearing me? This is actually a video. Can y'all hear the video? No? Okay, I'll go on ahead. If you can't hear that, then I don't know if you see that right now in this little video. Can you see the moving video or not on the screen? You can or can't? It's not moving. The video's not playing? Okay, I'll go on to the next slide and we'll see that. Okay, is the team competent? Are there typos on the page? Are they caring about how the page looks? A lot of times if you see different colors, if you see that they're making it graphically appearing, they're going to care about how their app looks too. Okay, so we're looking again, faithful and little, get bigger things given to you. Are they talking about and solving problems? I'm really stressing with them at this point. They should kind of be doing, those of you who've used Google Docs, just kind of nod your head. You know how you can comment on a Google Doc and other people can comment? Okay, you can do that on a wiki too. So we should start seeing comments and replies to comments. I used an example of a team that Susan's been coaching, and they actually replied to some of her comments. That's a good thing to see. A lot of the ones I left comments on, I didn't even see it. Now, are they already started forming ideas for their app? Do they have app features or suggestions? Have they done that? And are they working on that as well? Okay, so what we're going to do, let me hit escape. And let me share another screen here. Okay. I have so many screens open. Oh my goodness. I think I'm just going to share my main screen here. Here we go. Share it. Okay. You might see your souls again on this, but I'm going to go to this spreadsheet that Lisa and everybody is, all of you will be shared to. Okay. And I kind of like how Lisa's doing it better than how I've done it. But what we're going to do is we have this lovely spreadsheet. And once 3 teachers have looked at it, unless you really want to look at them all, and if you can, that would be great, then we're going to kind of look across and say, okay, 3 of us have given a yellow. Here's the feedback. So when you give a yellow, you can see that I've said inconsistent following of research instructions. No one has suggested what this app will look like. Is everyone contributing? You want to right click and put a comment as to why you are yellow lighting that particular page. So then we can go back and give feedback, basically verbatim, that this is our feedback to that team, okay? Now, if it's red light, loneliness, that's going to be an interesting one. I think maybe that group might want to talk to the folks. But we want to go through and start going through these and figuring out, okay, what do we want to do on this? Now we have, how many do we have? Which one? We completely removed gangs, right, Lisa Durf? That's red lighted because there's not enough people on that one. We'll go through and completely red light the ones there's just no way they can make it. And Lisa and I'll work through those. But we need your help, guys, giving feedback, because what we're going to do is, as we go through, we're going to give them feedback. And let me go to Mad About Mattering. I thought I was there. Okay. When we go to our heartbreak mapping page, do you see where we have green light, yellow light, red light? You'll see that there on the page now? Everybody sees that, kind of? Yeah. Okay, so we'll be moving these up to the section where they are, and then we'll give them feedback on the page as to why they're there. Now, once we have at least 3 of us who think it's a green light, we're going to kick it over to Crescerence for their final green light, so that Crescerence is not having to go through and look at all these until we think it's ready. Okay, Christy, so that's going to help you. I know you like that. Plus, we need to coach and make sure it represents our best. And so we'll kick it over to Crescerence. They'll give it, and once everybody green lights it, it's a go. They're going to move ahead, and we'll have to take these student names at the bottom and give them to Christy and the others at Crescerence, and they'll start setting them up in Mad Learn. So we may actually have some kids to get in before others if they can't get themselves to green light or yellow light or red light or that sort of thing. Other thing I want to mention. We are cranking on our time today. Let me go to this one here. So what I did with my students today that really got them going to town was when I said, okay, first thing I'm looking at revisions. Okay, let me see, what did Jonte do? Okay, Jonte. Hey, Jonte added some good information. 3 good pieces of research. That's awesome. And let's see what, Natalie, I'm not going to look at what you did because I know you did some work, but there we go. Let's look at what Lauren did. Okay, Lauren just added a little bit, but she added a mind map, so that's a pretty big deal. Now, one trick is if you can't figure out what they did, hit View Wiki Text, and it'll show you that they probably added an image and that sort of thing. Okay, so it'll show you if they added an image or a graphic. And then I go through, so I actually brought it up on my board, and I went through quite a few, and I said, okay, guys, do we have a high-functioning team here? Is this team working together? Oh, good, look, we have some things that got fixed here. Is this team functioning? How are they doing? And the weakness of this particular team is they don't have anybody but WHS students. So I've told them, guys, you got to do some recruiting and that sort of thing. And they've also not followed instructions in several places. Now, they do have some conversations going on here. You can see they are troubleshooting, and they're saying, see this right here? Leanne said something. Should we put more about this? Yes, let's let them know why it's important. I agree, let's add more stuff. That's a good idea. Do you see this conversation? Everybody sees that? Just nod your head if you do. When we start seeing that, we know that this team is probably not worth red lighting. They are caring enough that they have this conversation. Here you see how Natalie is asking a really good question, and Leanne is answering, and then Natalie went and replied, which is awesome. So you can kind of see what's going back and forth. So we want to see these little faces popping up on the right-hand side. Let me show you the student school one, and then because it's so good, and then we'll move ahead. Oh, I always do that. Student heartbreak mapping page. Okay, let's go to the stress calls from school, and I have no idea why this group is doing so much, but do you see how they've added the green here at the top of their headings, which is kind of a repeat of this color? And somebody already went and made a graphic, okay? And look, the citations are consistent, so somebody either fixed everybody else's or taught everybody else how to fix their citations. We have more graphics. Their source is cited. Now, the drawback is Natalie asked a question, didn't really get a reply, so that's not great. But they're using a Padlet to brainstorm. Awesome. They're starting on their mind map, and they've got a whole bunch of people. And if you look at this, look at them talking. Okay, so this team is really, you know, I would say they're probably, as I shared in the video, a yellow light just because they haven't put enough of what's going to be in the app. Where are their app ideas? I don't see them, and I told them today, guys, until you put your app ideas. So what I'm going to do with this, do y'all agree that we can yellow light this so I can show you guys what this looks like? Y'all cool with that? Okay, so I'm going to hit edit, and I'm going to give a comment, and I'm going to say, we have yellow lighted this heartbreak. This is awesome. And you guys don't have to do this because I'm going to look at the little comments. Why don't y'all share in the chat any thoughts you might want me to share? If a couple of you could share in the chat any thoughts on this page you formed with just taking a look at what I've shown you. And I'll model for you how we're going to do this. Here we go. There are so many incredible things about this page. Collaborating on a mind map is pretty difficult, Dawn. They can share with each other. They can message each other private on the wiki if we really want them to, but they could just communicate and have one person create the mind map that way. They just need to kind of invent and figure out how they're going to do that. There's so many incredible things about this page: graphic design, as well as excellent references. The issue we need to have added is what will be the features of this app. I can already tell you that Chris Arentz cannot do a to-do list, right? And we don't really want to, right, Christy? We don't really want to do a to-do list. Kind of iffy, but probably not, is not ideal for a to-do list. However, you could evaluate student apps that have a to-do list. Once you get the features spelled out, we'll review this again and see if you can get the green light. Okay, anybody else have anything else on here that you want to say? Okay, I want to say this. I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to go to the main page. Oh, somebody joined the room. I wonder who joined us, Lisa. Somebody dropped out and joined us again. And then I'm going to go on our heartbreak mapping page, and I'm going to copy them. I'm going to let Lisa Durf do it. But Lisa, if you'll copy the stress calls from school up to yellow light. We just gave them a yellow light. Okay? Now, guys, I know you're all really busy. And Junior, you said you have a step competition. I would say pick the ones you can pick. Susan, you've only got 4 students, so evaluate those 4. And if you'll go ahead and do them first, and Lisa and I are going to go in and we're going to evaluate as many as you can get done. Okay? So let me see. So where do we go from here? As quickly as possible, we want to evaluate in yellow light, green light, and red light these apps and help move them forward. Okay, what questions do you guys have so far? I know you guys will want to watch the video. What questions do we have about this process? Type in the chat.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Who wants to ask something? Somebody was going on mic?
Vicki, you had wrote about Trello or I don't know how to pronounce the other, Asana?
Asana.
Asana. And I looked at them both, and I know Asana was a free download, and I didn't go to sign in on Trello because, I mean, I know there's a fee related to it, but it said Pro Gold or something for a membership for $4.99 a month.
We used the free version last year, but we have to see. I think there is the free version of Trello, but you're just going to have to see if you can log in. But you said you were able to access Asana?
Yes.
Okay, and that's an item. I guess Christy left us. Did she? Oh, Asana limits 25 people. I wonder, though, Junior, if each team could have their own little Asana with the teachers in it. Do you think, Junior, you use Asana now?
Yeah, I actually use Asana. I use Asana now. We can create one where we have the teachers, and each teacher can create, each a variety of ways you can kind of handle it. But the free version does, I think, up to 25 members before it kind of charges you to do things. So.
Okay, we're going to talk to Chris Seritz about this. I emailed him today, but Dawn asked, what is Asana and what is Trello? So at this point, we've got to move to something called, the technical term, don't be afraid, is lean, or actually agile software development, agile, A-G-I-L-E, agile software development. And do not be afraid of that term, but that is a leading, bleeding edge. It's funny. One of my son's fraternity brothers was down from Georgia Tech, and we were taking him out for dinner. And he started talking about what he was learning. He said, oh, we're doing app development, and we're learning about this thing that nobody knows about, agile software development. Like, nobody knows it. They're teaching it just to upper level, and nobody knows how to do it. And everybody in Silicon Valley says nobody knows how to do it. I'm like, oh, well, my 9th and 10th graders did it last year. So once we pick our tool, I'll record some tutorials, and that will be next week. But what this does, some of the kids are ready, and that's awesome, and that's great initiative. But what it does is it lets them split up the tasks and have conversations about the tasks. So it kind of helps us move from the wiki, which will kind of not languish, but it'll kind of just be it. And then we'll move to a tool. Oh, Christy is still there. We just lost her video. Maybe, Christy, you can help us. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing you, Christy.
I don't know why you don't see me either, but my power went off, and I'm back now.
I can see her.
I just wanted to say that both Asana and Trello are both really great tools, and we have used both of them in our business. I would say that maybe for an app, Trello might be a little bit easier to manage for the students, just because you can visually see all the tasks all at once, whereas Asana has more like a list view. And the list view is great when you're really, doing a huge amount of work like we do with each of our clients. So I'll take a look at that and make sure that we'll get free access, though, on Trello, because, of course, that would be a huge consideration, is just making sure that y'all can get free access. So we'll take a little bit further look into that and make sure we get it all sorted out.
Well, and we could reach out to the Trello people, too, and say, hey, we'll list you on the site or whatever. We used Trello last year, and I know it like the back of my hand. I can learn, if we go Asana, then we're going to let Junior be our expert. But, hey, that's fine with me. I'm really fine with either. We just got to get decided, by next week early. When we're ready to take them in Mad Learn, we need to be ready to take them into their task tool. So when you're sharing with your staff or whoever that's what it is. And y'all don't worry. We'll record tutorials for everything, just like we're doing on the wiki, okay? So you're not going to ever be left with something that you can't do. And y'all will be pros. We're going to run this project again, and all you guys are going to be like having, oh, Vicki, I'll run the meeting and teach them all how to use Trello. You know, you just wait. You guys are going to be completely transformed. And you just have to be careful when you're transformed that you are always welcoming to beginners, because just remember what you feel like right now. I know Susan doesn't feel this way because she's totally knows much more than I do. Yeah, oh yeah, Tweet me, App Woman. She knows a lot. But just always remember this feeling you have of listening to somebody and you feel like they're talking Greek and you're wondering if you can do it, and if your students can do it. Because you guys can do it, I promise you. Okay, so how many of you think that you'll have time either in the next 24 hours to look at some of these pages? I'm going to make time. So Susan's going to have time. Junior, you got STEP. You think it'll be Wednesday for you before you can look at them? Or do you think you'll have a little time tomorrow? I'm trying to figure out. So everybody, thumbs up if you can look at it in the next 24 hours. Oh, everybody. Okay. So, and Christy will email you guys to when we're ready for them to go green light, we'll do that. So let's take a look at that video and do that. Okay. Any questions on this? So by Friday, guys, we really want to try to have as many green lighted as possible. We're going to have to push. If they're ready to go past it, we can go to brainstorming ideation. I suggest that we try to get them to come up with 50 ideas for an app name before they pick. And that'll work. Brainstorming, mind mapping, those are all things they can do as a team, and every team's going to have its own flavor. So a lot of times I'll start class pulling them up and say, hey, look at what this team is doing. Look at what that team is doing. Look at what this team is doing. We really want them to be entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and they're all going to be a little bit different. And brag on those that do well. Are there any? I want to make sure I answer all your questions, guys. What time Friday? Junior, it may actually be into Saturday because I'll be in Utah speaking at a writing conference. So I'm going to kind of leave this stuff with Susan and Lisa, and they'll probably feel comfortable greenlighting some while I'm not there, but then we'll kind of take a look at them. We'll meet next Monday. And honestly, by next Monday at 7, we need to be this close to having everybody settled and all of our teams settled. Like, if possible, have them settled by next Monday. So don't stress on a time, Junior, if they need to work into Friday, or what do you want them to do? Do you want them to be able to work Friday night or Saturday, Junior, because they're out this week, or what?
Yeah, if I could have them till Saturday, if I could just give them till Saturday. We're not out the entire week, but I know Wednesday is going to be like a mad dash of kids getting caught up from having days off.
Well, we're happy to do that. So we'll all try to get them all evaluated, and then we'll just kind of drag our feet. I don't work on Sundays, so we'll all next Monday we'll have to descend, and if you'll just all pencil in 30 minutes, 45 minutes on your calendar as an appointment for yourself. And Christy, if you guys will be on notice that you'll probably have quite a few come in at that point, and let's try to get them all nailed down in the teachers meeting, and then any that aren't we're going to be able to see it. And what was amazing today is once I pointed out those couple of teams that really got it going on, you wouldn't believe how many of my disengaged students suddenly engaged. Like, I had 3 or 4 of them that all of a sudden they were all over it. And when they see we can see everything, it changes everything. It really does. Okay, I won't belabor that point. We've got to get moving. Okay. I already gave you the lesson plans, Mad Storm and Mad Map, lesson 1, lesson 2. Next week, we'll be hitting Mad Start. Get on the Mad Learning platform, download them. There's all kinds of materials that you can use. That's awesome. We will want to start looking at our rubrics for the next phase of evaluation. We will want to decide, let's see how many apps we have. If we don't have too many, we may be able to let them all go through to May unless we have any teams implode, okay? Our goal is to have at least 7 teams present in May, okay? But we don't want to get the teams too big. We're talking behind the scenes of what's going to happen, and we're trying to recruit some VIPs for the date in May, the first week of May, and we need to start. In fact, Lisa, I'm going to let you try to figure this out with everybody. Any days that anybody is out in May, and if we would rather do it like after school, during school, before school, this will be the live 1 hour online presentation for our judges, because that's going to be tricky because it's the only time we have to be synchronous. So will y'all all check that first week in May, see if you're going to be out or testing anytime that first week in May, and say, Lisa, this, and this day are not okay. And if you would prefer after school, and if so, what time? Like, Vicki, I'd rather do 3 o'clock. Or Junior may say, Vicki, I'd rather do Wednesday at 3 o'clock, right? Pick your time, and, you know, it's tough. I'll check our sports schedules and try to find when we're open. It's going to be hard, and we're just going to have to figure it out. And if it's just totally not doable, then we'll figure it out from there. We're just going to have to figure it out. We may have to have some pre-taped stuff. It may have to just all be video. We're going to have to just figure out how we're going to do it. But we need to see if synchronous is possible. Okay, and we got to get our rubrics worked out. So I will start sending those out soon. Okay, met with Microsoft today. They've already got 10 mentors for us and some really pretty big people. We've got the CEO of Thrively. We've got the head of PR for Microsoft. We've got some really amazing people, and they want to send out a press release. They're going to mention the school names and all of that. I need to make sure that we have compiled a list and that your names are accurate on the homepage of the wiki. So please make sure it's phrased exactly like you want it, and your name is spelled exactly correctly, because we're pulling it off the homepage. Okay, so if you want it different, if you want to say after school club, however you want to be cited, we're pulling it off the homepage. Okay, and Microsoft is going to send a press release out through their network, which I know Christy Alifia will be very excited about, because they have a PR engine like something else, and they're really excited. And what I've told them that we'll do, based upon our meeting, I gave them a list of all the stuff you guys are using, and that we would all be willing to do a sway as part of the pitch. And then they want us to look at docs.com. That's docs.com. And Lisa and I are going to take lead on that, because you guys already have so much to do. If you're curious, because I know Susan Bearden is into everything, go ahead and sign up for an account. Take a look at it. This is a platform that they developed with Angela Myers, so kids can pitch their ideas to the world. And it's a really cool, they're really putting a lot of effort behind it. And they've asked if we could try to use docs.com for our pitches, and the sways would be part of that. So I don't know the answer on that. I haven't tested it, but I know they've asked it. And you guys know that we're not going to use it just because we want to use it. We're going to use it only if it works. And that's docs.com. Susan, I think you typed that in correctly.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Would they want to share their app on this, or just the pitch, like a video of the pitch or something?
It would be the pitch documents together. We would also share the ID number. So last year at Westwood, if you ever saw, Christy, what we did at Westwood, we actually used the wiki for our pitch documents. So instead of having our pitch documents on the wiki, we would have a wiki page, because that's kind of our central place. And we would have the name of each app, and it would link to their docs page with all of their pitch documents. And we would have a template. Okay, so they're going to have their MadLearn ID. The judges are going to have to be able to get in their apps, screenshots, videos. Does that make sense, Christy? That's a great question.
Yeah, I was just saying, because we have the Mad Store now, so all of the apps will easily have a home on the web, and of course there's the Mad Store app as well, but like you can easily just have a link and be like, hey, click here to view the app online, so.
Yeah, so then we'll want that link from if we use docs.com, and I don't know that we will, but we're going to figure that out, and we'll look at, I haven't tested the Mad Store. Has anybody tested the Mad Store besides Christy? Okay. we need to look at the Mad Store and figure, I don't know, Christy, what's going to be the easy. We want it to be easy. We want it to be simple. And if possible, we don't want to have to sign up for any more user IDs because we're almost user ID'd out. So I don't know, you guys are handling the other Mad Learn ones, so you'll have that handled.
Yeah, you won't have to get a new user ID for the Mad Store. That'll just be a way to access and view the apps.
Right. And that's an advantage of that. We don't have to get a new ID for the wiki. So docs.com, ? We don't know. Okay, so we'll wait and we'll see what happens. We've already agreed to make a sway, and we're going to have to figure that out. But they also have offered their engineering gurus to let us in, and we'll play with it and see what works. Okay. And that's a couple months out. But hey, guys, look how far we've come. Right? Could y'all believe that we would have made it this far already? Junior believed. Susan did not. I don't know if you guys realize how far we've come. Natalie's happy. I like Natalie happy and how much she had to overcome. Dawn, how are you feeling?
I've just still got some concerns because today I witnessed, and I put it in the chat twice, but I didn't really see any response about why the wikis are still deleting. I watched it happen 3 times to a student today, and he's like, I swear I didn't do anything. And then I restored it after he'd already reverted it, and it deleted within 5 minutes again.
Okay, now I saw one today look like it deleted, but it did not. And we hit refresh and it came right back.
Okay, because if you look at poverty.com, .com, geez Louise. If you look at the poverty wiki, that's the one that it happened to late. And you'll see it on all the little comments because I restored it for him a few times. He restored it, and we're like, we're not deleting it.
Yeah.
It was just starting to get us really concerned.
Okay, so what we can do, Lisa, do you mind emailing anytime we have that problem, we can email help@wikispaces.com. So what I would do, Dawn, is just grab the link, email help@wikispaces.com, copy Lisa and me so we can just know what's going on, explain the problem and what you did, and then they can troubleshoot. But do you want to send that in, or do you want us to send it in for you?
I don't mind. I mean, I can explain it and they can respond back to you. And we reverted every time, but we would revert and then it would be there and we'd go back and do a few things. I'd do other work and I'd come back and check on it. And I was like, what the heck? And it'd be gone again. He's like, Miss Matt, it's gone again. So he was.
Well, this is a huge, poverty is a huge page. It's an enormous
a green light close to it. So.
Yeah, it is an enormous page. And, but there, this is a nice looking page. And it could just be that, what's his ID? Coach Madden FBS or that guy
No, I'm the Coach Madden. He is probably M. Harrington or Michael H.
Yeah, I see M. Harrington FBS.
Yeah.
I see that. I see him in there. And I see, that's very strange. It does look like there was simultaneous editing happening when it happened, because it looks like I can't tell, maybe not. I don't know who's Sub-Zero. Is that who's Sub-Zero? Whose group is that?
There are some wiki edits that are very close in minutes.
Yeah, does anybody know whose student is Sub-Zero? We don't, do we?
I don't think that sounds like mine. I have my list, unfortunately, in the
Yours,
other.
Natalie? Well, I can't really tell what's happening, but it looks like there may be, or it may just be so big. But if we can tell, they told us that they'll handle it, and if we have any more problems, this is a great looking page, so you can compliment. Him, Dawn, that this page looks amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the top ones.
It looks great. They're really doing some wonderful things on this page. And they have a lot to be proud of. And so I would just say all we need to do is just email Wikispaces, help@wikispaces.com, copy us two, and we'll get on top of it. Thank you, Dawn.
And then you guys are going to share that one place where you want us to put the comments for the Google Doc, right?
Yeah, Lisa should have already. Have you already shared it, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I did not.
Okay.
She
will do it.
You're still in there.
But go ahead and share it. Go ahead and share it. Go ahead and share it. It's ready for everybody. She'll share it with you right now, and you guys can get into the doc, okay? Another great question, Dawn. What else? Because we only have 3 minutes left, and my husband grilled a steak.
Ooh, yum. I'm coming over.
Come
I'm a
on.
vegetarian. Thank you.
Oh, Lisa, you have to have one flaw. One. And you have one. I found Lisa's one flaw. She's a vegetarian.
But she
One.
loves cookies.
Oh, goodness. Okay. What else? Any other questions?
So we're not moving, and we're waiting on you guys after we do the docs to actually move those kids to red, yellow, and green on the main page?
Yeah, you don't have to move them. Lisa and I'll move them. What you guys are going to do is say your opinion. So it's kind of like a vote. Some of you may say red, some of you may say yellow, and we'll work it out. And you just right click. So like Lisa, when she has her yellow, she's going to right click and she's going to add a comment to her little square. And then I'm going to add my comment to my little square, and we're going to say, okay, this is why we think it's yellow, and this is why we think it's red, and this is why we think it's green. And we're going to see a consensus emerge. And I will likely pull this up and say, just give them feedback one at a time and talk to them as it comes in. Even if they're not red lighted or green lighted, you're welcome to talk to the kids about the feedback that they're getting. To try to help them, because what they're going to get really hyper about this. They're going to start driving you nuts. Because red light, green light, yellow light becomes a really big issue. It did in my classroom last year. Like they would come, is it ready to green light? Is it ready to green light? Is it ready to green light? Is it ready? And they're making it better and better and better. So, okay. Any other questions? We have 1 minute left, and Lisa and I'll stay behind in case anybody has any questions. Again, y'all, Inner Circle is a great strategy. When all the kids come in, say, if you know what you want to do, go to work. Join the Inner Circle. If you have questions, we'll sit down and talk. And then you have permission to leave the Inner Circle at any time when you or know what you need to do. And then when the Inner Circle's gone, then you're done and you just go around and help them individually. It's a great strategy for your reluctant learners because they don't have to raise their hand. They can just pull their chair up.
Hey, Dawn had
Okay, anybody else?
Dawn has a great question in the chat.
What is it?
Says,
Do you have the apps from last year that were published to kind of inspire the kids and show them like this is what we're doing for?
Yeah, the only thing is that when you share this list with them, some of these apps are not about heartbreaks. In fact, the Nacho app, like all my kids were like, we want to do the Nacho app and make it funny. And Christy knows which one I'm talking about, but let me give you the link right now. These are the final Shark Tank app proposals from Westwood last year. Susan, do you have some, did y'all do a Shark Tank or not at your school? You didn't? I just shared it in the chat. You can look at those that we did, and you can look at how the pitches looked. And iCare and Endangered, and even Manage Your Money would probably be 3 good ones to kind of see that they're kind of related to heartbreaks. You can click on the teams. You can watch the trailers. iCare was the highest scoring. It's the one the judges love the best, was iCare. And then Drone Zone also made it to the store. The EdTech Developers Store gave them some money for that.
I think all of those apps are actually in the MAD store as featured apps too.
Oh.
So, people could go. I put the link in there earlier, but I can give you the link again. You can go to MAD store and actually view the apps and interact with them in that environment.
Oh, cool.
I probably need to add those links to this page. I'll put it on my list to see if I can figure out. I don't know if you are able or somebody's able on your team to give me those hyperlinks, and then I can just paste it on the page and say, look at this in the MAD store.
Yeah, if you give me a link of the apps that you want the links for, I can get them for you easily.
All of these right here at this on this page right here, this final Shark Tank app proposals, those would be awesome. The ones that are in the MAD store, and I'll add the link, and then kids, and y'all can share it. Do y'all want this link put on the Mad About Mattering wiki for your kids or not?
Yes.
You do?
Sure.
Lisa, can I add that to your list to put this link? Just sample Shark Tank app proposals. I'll put it on the sidebar on the right. That would be great. Okay, guys, we're running over. Any other questions?
Are the kids supposed to be, posting in the Mad Mad About Mattering's blog already?
They can, Junior, when you're ready. That's up to you, and it's optional.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is if my kids don't have anything to do with their teams this week, like while I'm out, I'm going to say you may choose to write a blog post explaining your heartbreak to the world, and that's going to be an optional assignment for my students too.
Okay.
So the blog is there. It's ready for us. And probably, I don't know if us teachers can all try to blog in the next week or two and share our reflections, but that would be great. Christy, what's the WordPress sign-in default password?
Let me go get the spreadsheet open. I don't remember. I don't want to misquote you.
Okay. Well, don't worry about it. Just take a look at the spreadsheet. Oh, there it is. Junior found it. MAM blog 2016.
I did have to change Natalie's, but I sent her an email with that. But if anybody else has problem logging in on their account, let me know. Like I said, WordPress seems to have about, I don't know, 1 out of every 15 accounts they just don't like, and so you have to redo it. But we'll be happy to get it redone for you. And just remember that the students, when they submit a blog post, it will not automatically go out. Okay, so you as a teacher will need to go in and look at it and approve of it. And we just did that since the blog's a little bit more out there than the wiki.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, guys, we'll stop the recording. Anybody who needs to stay and have us answer questions, we will. But those of you, I guess we're doing the inner circle with you guys. If you're done and you got everything you need, you may leave the inner circle. And if you do not, you may stay.